One day I remember I was walking with my Gurudev Chitrabhanaji, my teacher who taught me the philosophy of Ahimsa, the philosophy of non-violence. Back in 1978, I was walking with my teacher back to his apartment after one of his lectures. And during our walk, as it was normal for us, we were discussing philosophy, spirituality, and a favorite topic of mine, which was enlightenment, self-realization. And I was asking my teacher, Gurudev, what is the fastest way to reach enlightenment? What is the quickest way to realize oneself? Is it through meditation, pure meditation, or should one combine other practices like pranayama and various kriyas and mudras and working with the energy centers, working with the Kundalini Shakti? And we were going along and talking, and my teacher said to me, he said, Harshdev is my initiator name. He said, Harshdev, any path that you walk on, whether it's the path of meditation or the path of yoga, where you combine many different types of meditations and physical exercises, he said, any path that you walk on, if you take it to the very end, then you become enlightened. You become realized. And then he said to me, he said, even if you take Ahimsa all the way, the philosophy of non-violence, he said, if you take Ahimsa to an extreme, then also one becomes enlightened. And I asked my teacher, I said, how could that be? Because I did not understand at that time the philosophy of Ahimsa in depth. I said to my Gurudev, I said, how can that be? How can one become enlightened? Simply by practicing non-violence, by practicing amity, by practicing respect for all life, by having the feeling of reverence for all life, all living beings. How can that lead to enlightenment? And I said, if that was true, why do yogis spend years and years and years meditating in the forests? And I said to my Gurudev, I said, I've been spending so many hours a day trying to keep my back straight, sit in a good posture, sit in the lotus position, meditate on the energy centers. Why am I making so much effort for so many years if all I have to do is to have this feeling of reverence for life and take it to an extreme and then be enlightened just by that? So I was skeptical. But my teacher said, no, Ahimsa is another way to self-realization. He said, if you take Ahimsa to an extreme, then one becomes self-realized. He said, all these yogis who go to the forests, they're meditating. In a way, they're practicing Ahimsa. They're respecting the environment they're in. They are in harmony with nature. They're not bothering anyone. No one is bothering them. And over many years, a person's whole being becomes filled with love, with reverence for life, and naturally then one glides into the highest state. And so I remember the words of my teacher that Ahimsa, the path of Ahimsa, is another way to evolve spiritually and to become enlightened and become realized. Namaste.